Hi guys, so I thought today, rather than go up a mountain where the visibility is not so good, I would give my verdict on something I've been testing for the last few months, which are the Ruroc Lite goggles versus the Anon M4. And I've been using both of these goggles all season. So this isn't a review where I've tested the goggles out for one day and I'm giving you back a load of the stuff that comes in the marketing material. I haven't received these goggles from either of these two companies. I haven't had a discount or anything like that. These are goggles that I bought with my own money, and this is my own opinion. So let's talk about costs. I know that if I didn't mention this straight up in the beginning, this would have come up in the comments. The Anon M4, this retails at around about $340 if you buy them from Anon directly. So you're probably thinking, well, why am I measuring something that's $340 against something that's $180 when I was saying the $180 was too expensive? So actually, when you look at the costs, the Anon M4 is not actually that expensive in comparison to the Ruroc Lite goggle. If you think about the Ruroc Lite goggle, you have, it costs $180. With that, you get a black lens, which does look really good. You don't get a spare lens with that. There's nothing for low light, and you don't get the mask with that either. So you have to add those on as additional costs. The Ruroc Lite goggle then comes in at $270. The Anon M4, although it is $340 if you buy it from Burton directly, Anon as a brand is available in lots of different stores, not just from Burton, and you can pick these up a lot cheaper. I actually picked these up for, I think, $260. With that, you get a spare lens for low light. You also get a mask with the magnetic mount on it as well. And so when you look at the two goggles together with those costs, actually they're about the same amount of money. Which of these goggles looks best, especially when paired with the Ruroc Lite helmet? Now, this is all, subjective, so everyone's going to have a different opinion. So what I thought I'd do is put up a few pictures that I took yesterday when we actually had a Bluebird day of each of the goggles with the different lens combinations, and then let me know in the comments below which one you prefer and why. I'm going back and forward between these two. I can't decide, so I'm hoping that you guys can help me decide as well. Lens optics. Now, the lenses on both of these goggles are pretty good. I have done a lot of testing in different conditions on this, and I have to say that when you're using the Anon M4, it feels like you're looking at everything in HD. The contrast is phenomenal on these. On the Rurocs, if you're in, I'd say probably a Bluebird day, if you haven't tried the Anons, you can get by with these, not a problem. I think when you get into variable conditions and stormy conditions, whiteout conditions, flat light, these are not going to cut it in comparison to the Anons. The lens technology in these is so much better. So in terms of peripheral vision, the Rurocs are actually really good. I would say that the Anons are just a little bit better. The way that they've arranged the foam padding on the Anons as well, they kind of, I feel like they slightly are angled downwards, so you can see a lot further down as well. That's not to say that these aren't good. You don't get the letterbox effect that you do with some cheaper goggles. I would just say that the Anons are slightly better. In terms of breathability, this is where the Rurocs excel. Skiing in a ski camp, and we had a huge amount of powder falling. We were in like stormy conditions. It was wet and horrible. The Anons just kept steaming up. At one point I had to switch out the lens for a darker lens because I couldn't see anything, because they'd fogged up on the inside. It condensed everywhere and I just couldn't clear the goggle. On the second day, the same thing happened, except this time I actually had the Ruroc goggles in a bag with me. So I switched those out, and even though I didn't have a low light lens on, I had this dark lens, I could see a hell of a lot more with this than I could with the storm lens that was completely fogged up on the inside on the Anons. So I think that this is because there are giant vents. In fact, you can probably see the difference between the two here. So I also want to talk about the comfort of the goggles. Now, the Rurocs are actually really comfortable. However, once you try the M4s, the Rurocs don't feel as comfortable as they did previously. Now, the Rurocs got triple air foam, so there's the soft stuff here, but the soft stuff that's by your face isn't as soft. The foam doesn't quite feel as good quality as on the Anons, and the Anons is much softer towards the face. So comfort wise, that goes to the Anons. So I want to talk about the lens change. Now both of these have a magnetic lens change system. On the Anons there is no clip, no nothing. You literally pull the goggle and then you can snap these new ones and then that's all set. So yeah, really quick lens change system. With the Rurocs you have to unclip a clip either side here and then pull the goggles off. The magnets feel a lot stronger on this, so doing this with gloves is actually a little bit more difficult. And then to put the new ones in, you kind of snap them into place. Now the problem is that sometimes it takes a little bit of fiddling before you get them in and you clip those there. So both of these very easy systems. In terms of cases, now I've talked about this in the unboxing video, but this Ruroc case is amazing. I would love it if they sold this separately. I think the Anons actually fit in here. I've never tried this, so you're getting a world first here on video. There you go. The Anon goggles fit in that case, which is great. And the reason why that's great is because the Anon goggles just come in a bag, which kind of sucks when you think that that's a flagship goggle as well. The only thing is that when you buy a new lens from Ruroc, when I ordered one recently, it just came in a box, in a plastic bag, no case, no nothing. So I was like, okay. Whereas the Anon goggles come in one of these cases, which is kind of like a sort of hard shell type case, but it's very thin as well, so it doesn't take up a lot of room in the bag. You can chuck it in there. I have like a few of these because I've been testing out the lenses on them. So yeah, really good job there by Anon. Quite like that. Now for some of the extra features. Now with Ruroc you can get polarized lenses in lots of different colors, which is great. I have a red one here that I've been testing out against the kind of Sonar red. What I will say is that the amount of lenses that you can get for these goggles at the moment isn't huge. These ones which come with the goggles, which I still think probably look the best, they're not as dark as they look on camera when you're in really bright conditions. On the Anon side, they have different types of lenses for the M4. So this lens is a toric lens, which is slightly curved, so it gives you that kind of, if you've ever seen a pair of Oakley flight deck goggles that kind of have the bulbous bit that come out, same sort of thing with these. I personally prefer the look of cylindrical goggles, which are kind of a little bit old school, but kind of a bit more on trend right now, and it makes the glass look a lot bigger. But you can switch between the two depending on the look that you're going for. There is no difference whatsoever in terms of what you can see. I think that what I've read is that with the toric goggles, they tend to fog up a little bit less because there's more air volume on the inside. What I've actually found is that the cylindrical goggles that I have here don't fog up nearly as badly as these ones. And finally, I just want to talk about something that has been really critical this season, because we all have to wear masks when we're getting on lifts and in public spaces. And Anon did something phenomenal with their MFI technology for their mask. On the bottom of their goggles, they have magnets where this literally clips into, and then it holds the mask into place. This is so good. You know, you just want to pull this out for riding and snap it back into place when you're getting on the lift, or when you're riding, the weather conditions changing, you just want to cover yourself up. It's really good. These come in a number of different options. I'm wearing a light one because it's quite hot at the moment. One that comes with the goggles is this kind of heavyweight fleece, and this is incredible for those really cold days, or if you're a person that gets cold all the time. I'm not, so I only use this right at the very beginning of the season. So I guess when it comes down to it, you probably want to just consider a few different factors. Yes, these are expensive in comparison, but there are extra costs with these as well. Both of these are great goggles. It's just the Anon is actually better. Anon also do goggles that are in a cheaper range that don't have as many features, but they feature the same lens technology, so you're still getting the great optics, but maybe just slightly different style. They all come with the MFI clip in them, so you can use a mask with it. I find myself picking up these over and over again, not only for the optical clarity, but also for that MFI system. This does not mean to say that the Ruroc goggles are bad. Actually, they're pretty good, and after the fogging up incident, I was kind of like, you know what, $180 isn't actually so bad for a pair of goggles that I've never been able to get them to fog up. I know that in the comments of one of my other videos, somebody did test these out, and he had these fog up on him, but I honestly have never had any fogging issues with this so far whatsoever. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you want me to test out any other goggles, if there's anything else that you want to know about either the Ruroc Lite goggles or the Anon M4s, and I'll do my best to answer it in the comments below. If enough people are asking, I'll also make another video on this, as I'm still got like a few more weeks left in the season. So I hope everyone is staying healthy, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does really help, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you soon.